tell me what your name is.
I'm Ed Walker.
And you're the pastor of?
I'm the preacher at Mount Hebron Church of Christ.
And that's in?
Well, we're near Eclectic.
Okay. And
we're right beside the path of that storm.
Right.
And thankfully right beside it, not in it.
Right. And what has your church been doing since the storm?
Well, because we're the only building of any size in the path of the storm, and we're still intact and others aren't.
That survived.
That survived, yeah. We began Thursday after the storm providing water, food, whatever folks needed. Right then it was bathrooms.
Right.
Because there were so many people up here helping, working, that kind of thing, and they just weren't there. So, and it's grown from there. Last Saturday, when there were so many people up here working, our folks provided something over 450 meals for the folks out working and for the victims. And we've been delivering sack lunches to the victims, and a lot of the workers who've been coming in, they come in and...
Because there's not a lot of places to eat right in this community.
There's no place to eat real close.
Right, and the houses are sort of far apart.
Right, and it's... They don't... A lot of these people have come from, some of them 50, 100, 150 miles to come in here and volunteer to work. And you hate to ask them to take 45 minutes or an hour, and they don't want to take time to go eat. Sometimes we have to say, hey, here's lunch. You need to stop and eat it.
Right.
And so it's one of those kind of things that...
Well, I know you had a lot of stuff donated to your church by members of your church and so forth, but as far as a monetary need, tell me some of the things that you think this contribution from Troy might be put to use for.
Well, most likely, there's a couple of things. Would be an emergency medical kind of need that came up. We don't know of any right now, but I know one lady was telling us that she's a member of a fire department, and they did not realize that somebody in their community was diabetic, and their house destroyed, and all their diabetic supplies were lost. And sometimes those little needs, the household items, the person who's had to move into an apartment because their house is destroyed, and they've got no towels and washcloths, they've got no pots and pans and spoons and forks and those kind of things. And so every situation is going to be an individual situation, but it's going to be a very specific need that's not going to be available elsewhere.
Well, tell me what you'd like to say to the people of Troy who made this contribution to your community, because it's going to the church, but really y'all will use it.
It'll go to the community.
Right.
Well, and of course, we're certainly appreciative of it. It kind of shows you what kind of people we've got in our area. They said there were something over 1,300 people who came into this area to help with the cleanup and the debris removal this past Saturday. I had a call that morning from a lady. She was from Enterprise, and the devastation that Enterprise has suffered. And those folks, because they got help, they realized other people need help. She wanted to bring a crew up here to prepare lunch. She said, we'll prepare lunch for 500 people. I said, I don't have facilities for you to prepare lunch for 500 people. Sandwiches do better than lunches right now.
Well, even with all the devastation that's been shown, what would be the one thing that you'll take from this, if there is one thing that you'll take from this as far as...
People caring for people. That's what people have come from. I said, I got a call Sunday from a church in Tennessee. They knew about us in a very roundabout way. Somebody that I know, his father preaches at this little church, and so they said, we want to help somebody, but we want to be a church about our size. And so he said, oh, Mount Hebron's about your size. And so he called me and said, we're sending you this morning's contribution.
Well, in addition to that, I guess that you still want people to continue to pray for your community.
Absolutely.
Because y'all have got a lot of healing to do, I would say, just by the looks of it.
I've been I was a county welfare director in '74 when the major tornadoes hit North Alabama, and I was in the county where they started. And I saw the same kind of thing, the outpouring of care concern, willingness to do. But I know who's in charge. Yeah. People say prayer works. I say no, God works. Yeah. He tells us we can influence Him with our prayers. And so we certainly want folks to continue praying for the people, physical needs, emotional needs, spiritual needs. It's the little 2-year-old that we just visited. Her grandmother said, every time a truck goes by, she still cringes because she remembers the sound of that storm. And it went just about straight over them. And so I know she heard a terrible roar, and that child is going to be that way. Adults are going to be that way for months, if not years. They're going to be afraid when they hear that kind of sound. And so it's a...
Now, the church just, how far up the road from here, the Mount Hebron
Mount
church?
Hebron Baptist is like a quarter of a mile away from us.
And it was just
Totally
demolished,
destroyed.
yeah.
It's been wiped off to just a slab now. And because of the curvature of the road, it got them, not us. Mount Gilead Primitive Baptist Church is about a half mile up the other direction, and it's destroyed too. And so it's we're blessed to still be here, and we've communicated with both of them and said our building's available to you. If you want to have services with us, if you want to worship with us, however, but it's available to them.
Well, how long have you lived here in Eclectic?
I've been here since '92. That's
Okay.
18 years. Coming up on 19 in June.
So what do you think about how the people here will bounce back? Do you
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like your community will be restored?
These are resilient people. They're what we usually call country people, and I think Troy is Troy's still not big enough to not be country people.
Yeah.
And great people there, great people here, but they'll bounce back. And like I say, there'll be some who will be affected more than others emotionally.
Right.
But that's what we're here for, is to help deal with that.
Is there anything you want to tell me that I hadn't asked you?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well, I always try to give people that
I tell
opportunity.
you what a wonderful preacher I am, and to come on up and visit at our regular services.
Okay.